Listening. Super speller. Super fast. Yummy and yum. Well, my boss says playtime is over. We start the way we start. Folks, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. I am Nana Ansah Kwao the Fourth, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemu Edumasan. And I say thank God it's Monday. Well, should I say that's only if you're not flooded. But once you can hear me, folks, once you can hear me, that alone is a blessing to be cherished. So join me as we are about to perform one of radio's most important rituals every Monday at this time, right here on Joy 99.7 FM. The People versus VRA. Yes. The People versus VRA. That's our topic today. So sit back. By now you should be posting it on all your pages and inviting your friends to join in, because you definitely want to continue the show after the show. At this point, I say let us all gather and make truth good. Folks, the Little Republic of Edumasan, I'm sure by now, you know, because in Edumasan, away. The very, very now famous Little Republic of Edumasan, it's in the Sujaman district, in the eastern region. And as the overlord of my town, I'm there almost every other week. Now, to travel to Edumasan, which is in the Akwemu traditional area, you will have to drive through the Akosombo township. You drive in front of the hydro dam. The road would wind and bring you to the back of the dam before you carry on to Edumasan. So you literally, folks, see the front of the hydro dam and the back where the lake is. Amazing piece of engineering. But it has become the usual sight for us. I mean, most of the time we don't even look. We just zoom past it. We've seen it over and over and over. It's no more a marvel to us because I am normal. About 13 years ago, folks, there was a major spillage. That's what's happening today. Not as big as this, but it was a major spillage. And those of us at the back of the dam, now we have to leave a 280 feet contour from the lake bed inwards into land. It's all considered to be part of the lake bed. However, when it's not high tide, folks, you will not believe that the water can literally rise to this point. I mean, 280 feet. That's, quite a bit. There are certain parts of the lake that if you can't see land. I mean, all you see is just water. You can't see land when you're on certain part of the lake. And so, I mean, you sometimes wonder, how is this lake going to fill up to cover 280 feet towards land? So yes, folks, 13 years ago, there was this unusual rise of the water. But this time, it's something else. Folks, even with the non-technical eyes, no one will tell you there's something happening with this. The sheer amount of water and how high it has risen tells you nature is powerful. Now, I feel very sorry for those downstream. My God. I mean, what does one do? I mean, where do you go? Leave the comfort of your home, family? If they are children, can you imagine if they are nursing mothers? Imagine if you're living with the elderly, you have your parents who are not very mobile. Before you even start wondering about your valuables, not many of us have insurance. Expensive flat screens and expensive bits and pieces in the house. But obviously, because you're thinking of life, you have to forget about all this, but you know it will come back and hit you. The trauma, the stress. Folks, not focusing on the people affected now. No, not at all. I don't want to rub, salt into their wounds. It's too much already. But we as a people, all of us, we treat safety as an afterthought. Those who live near the Wager Dam, those who live around the Pualugu Dam and environs, we see and hear some of their behaviors, and you just can't put a finger on it. And sometimes even inland, folks, there are people building in places that are not conducive for building. And so what do? They will move in at the cover of darkness to build their own house, not any few. It's very muddy, it's very floody, it's waterlogged, and the council will say, don't build here. So what would they do? At night, when nobody's watching, he will take his own money to come and build his own house in the waterlogged area. Their own house. Folks, we see people riding bikes, and they just put anything, any contraption on their heads. Not for their own safety, no. Just to avoid the police from hustling them. So you see somebody with a small, probably size 6 head, wearing a size 10 helmet with no strap, just dangling on his head. It's not for his safety. He's just putting something on his head so that when he comes to police stop, he can just ride past. We treat safety as though it's a secondary matter. It's secondary. Folks, now every year the VRA does simulation exercises of what people should do in case the dam breaches or should there be a spillage. During COVID, I know they stopped a bit, but after that they started again. And the exercise is held in indoor settings with projection and stuff, and they kind of educate people on what you should do in case there's a spillage or there's a breach of the dam. And it's done with community head, assemblymen, chiefs representing all that stuff. However, this year, folks, in the month of May, I am told they actually did a real life simulation where people had to leave their homes and gather at the safety ground and go to where the high grounds is for safety. In case of the rushing, those who will get injured should go and get first aid first, so ambulances and all that were set up. They had to act out what could happen with the police, fire, NADMO, all the agencies. Guess what, folks? Many people were not keen to join. They had farm duties, they had fishing duties, they can't be bothered. Those who took part too, folks, went to Yayaka Yenye. Safety procedure. Should something happen, I'm here to point out where you should escape. No, I'm not coming unless you pay me. So food and stipends were provided. Otherwise, we won't join. Folks, those in charge of informing communities too, not forthcoming. Maps of safety routes and locations in the affected areas that are supposed to be pasted clear in everybody's view to remind them. Some haven't been posted. But folks, I know people have been upset with the VRA with regards to the spillage. And it hasn't been easy. Some say they should have informed them earlier. Others say they should have stopped the spillage or reduce the spillage. Some even suggesting that why don't we harvest the water and use it for irrigation. But what I'm thinking, folks, let's just imagine that the dam wasn't there. Because at the moment, all the water is stored behind the dam and is being regulated into the river. And currently, there's more water coming in the dam than is being let out. So, if all this water, there wasn't any dam, and has to gush through the river down, I can't even imagine what would have happened. I can't even imagine what would have happened. And I'm told in 1963, before the dam was built, a similar tide came. And it was not a pretty sight. It was not a pretty sight because there was nothing to block and regulate the water that comes out. There was nothing to block and regulate the water that comes out. And I feel sorry for the people at the VRA, and I feel sorry for the communities down. Damned if you do, and damned if you don't. Damned if you do, and damned if you don't. What a tragedy. What a tragedy. Nature at its best, telling us that, you know what, I'll do what I want to do when I want to do it. Folks, the lake itself, which is covering 3% of Ghana's landmass, about 3%, it's the reservoir. You've blocked it. So you've made a reservoir, you block it, and it's covered about 3% of Ghana's landmass. It's covered. So it's probably the biggest reservoir, or sometimes the second biggest reservoir, depending on Lake Victoria. They compete as to who becomes first and second. And so when you're talking about harvesting the rain, are you saying we should flood another 3% of Ghana to store the water? It is going to be a whole engineering marvel. It is going to be a whole engineering marvel to flood again, because I am telling you the problems that this current lake has caused the communities around it, you have no idea. Edumasa and its environs once upon a time were tropical zones. They have changed to transitional zones where the lake has covered, half of its forest. Social impact. I mean, it's just mega. It's a huge task ahead. It's a huge task ahead. And the water gushing out, I was listening to commentaries, and somebody was saying that, why do we can take 2 million liters of the water and store it here, and take 5 million gallons of the water, and say that the amount of 2 million, that's like within 2 minutes. 2 million liters of water is what will gush out of that thing in probably a minute. It's not that. You should, if you're free this weekend, just drive up and see what's happening there. But in all this, I am asking, is there any way people would have been informed to move to higher grounds earlier? Because indeed, they started spilling the dam earlier. Because I was worried, why didn't you start spilling earlier? They started spilling earlier. But apparently the rains up north is just so much. And the rain clouds. So the dam is indeed filling up. There's nothing we can do about it. What could have been done? That's the question. But I think one of my major issues for raising this issue is we seem to have all sat back and we are waiting for president and the NADMO and the president. And I'm thinking, hold on. Can we all buy a bowl of kenke, half a tin of gari, 1 tin of milk or something, and give to the communities that are suffering? Is it just government? Is it just a government matter? Are we all not brothers and sisters? Can there be a rally round somewhere? So if t-shirts too now, look, just throw one in there. We have so many things in our houses that we don't need. Food, clothing items, whatever it is. So I'm just appealing that while we are trying to find out the fault in the VRA and President Sokon about to ask him to we will say yes, same boom. Yes, same boom. But can we rally round as a people and say, look, let's find something, I don't know, rice, oils, and something like some donations. We go and help our brothers there, because it is an unimaginable plight to put anybody through. I mean, you see a whole house submerged. How many things could they have taken from the house? How many? Probably the clothes on their back. You're lucky to get your Ghana card in your back pocket to run. All your things gone. So I am appealing that we should have a rallying point, some Momo account or something, that we just put something in and just flood them with things to make life as comfortable as it can be, if it's even possible. If it's even possible. But I think things such as food, clothes, medicine, and should never, and this is a problem. While they are thinking about how to build their lives back, what to eat, your 3 square meals, your health care, your clean water, and clothes to wear, I don't think it should become a problem. Where we sit and look at Nadmo, or we sit and look at Nanado, so the Bibi Baba. Let's rally round and let's show that love and let's show that support. Because what's happening there, I mean, according to VRA, well, it's not according to, the dam is still rising. And they will have to spill. There's a limit as to how much water the dam can hold. And so whatever it do, they would have to spill to make sure that the dam is secure. Because breaching of the dam, as for that one day, and the Kukumili Hakra on spare. I said 3% of Ghana is flooded because of that dam. 3% of Ghana is flooded because of that dam. So I mean, the biggest reservoir in the world. You don't want to break it at any cost. But what do we do? What do we do? So I'm urging those who are doing the radio commentaries and stuff like that, calm down. This is not a political issue. It is a natural phenomenon that's coming at a full range. And maybe the dam is actually the godsend in terms of holding the water back and spilling it out gradually, rather than all water just rushing through the towns. But for the people who are now suffering, what do we do? Okay, so who's my first caller?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My boss.
Yes, sir. Who am I talking to, please?
You're talking to Michael, calling from Akotombo.
Ah, Michael, let me hear you. Closer to the situation.
God bless you. What a good work you are and a good information you are giving to Ghanaians. As I'm speaking to you, it's supposed not to be like that, but I feel like if I die, it's better.
Wow.
I'm suffering. My everything is gone.
Oh dear.
Even the common thing I have and I know that I can survive tomorrow coming is gone. My school certificate. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. The house is perished. So this is a future for this land God gave us. Let's calculate it the way it happened to me. What about tomorrow my friends are in Ghana? I feel very sad. But I thank God that I'm alive.
Yes, because help is coming.
But Ghanaians, this is not a leadership matter. If we can help ourselves, the land will be good for us. I pray for all those people who perish, and I pray for all those who are alive. Everybody must stand up and help us. We are breaking Ghanaians. It's too much. It's too much. God help us. It's too much. But we have to learn. We have to learn deep bottom of our hearts. There's nothing I can say to even say graduate or master degree, whatever, on this land. This is Ghana. This is Ghana. Our motherland, Ghana. God bless our homeland, Ghana, motherland. This is Ghana. I'm telling all the leaders, whoever you are, senior minister, president, MP, whoever, senior pastor, degree pastor, whoever, be diplomatic, whoever, I'm telling them, this is real. Ghanaians, this is real Ghana for us. Let's think today, not tomorrow, please. You don't know what is coming tomorrow. Let's think now. Nobody should sleep. We should think. When we are thinking, we should think and pray hard, deep of the bottom of our hearts. Thank you very much, Ghanaians. God bless you all.
God bless you too, my brother. Help is coming. I'm sure some... hello, who's talking to me?
Hi, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana, how are you?
I'm very well.
Yes, so my name is Justice.
Justice, let me hear you.
Yes. So Nana, concerning the simulation exercise you spoke of that was done in May, I think there was some sort of coordination between some units, the Army, the Fire Service, VRA themselves, NADMO. I doubt if we had or we have the same coordination happening now. It didn't start immediately. I think the Army or the Navy came in later. Okay, so I think maybe they got that wrong. And like you are saying, this is not a political issue. Whether we like it or not, the dam needed to be spilled. And now, for the first time, I think I disagree with you on the mathematics as to if we didn't have the dam and all the water had to go, it would have been going a bit naturally and not with the kind of force that we are having. So I think the two are not the same.
Okay.
Nana, I have a question.
Sure.
Some years back, they used to dredge the Akosombo River, and especially at the estuary at Adan. I am from Adan, and once a while they dredge the place ready for this kind of spillage. So that when there is a spillage, the place becomes deeper. It is not narrow. When you go to Adan for now, the place is a bit choked. And certainly when a place is choked, you find water finding its own way. And that's the kind of thing we are having now. So I think that the authorities knew what they were supposed to do, but they didn't do it properly. And we're having this kind of challenge. It's so pathetic when you look at the TV and you see people's houses, story buildings submerged. So I think, yes, it's a natural occurrence, but we did not prepare ourselves well for this occurrence. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Nene from Dansoman.
Nene, let me hear you.
Okay. Nana, I agree with you that, yes, in these times like this, we as citizens should come up and help. I agree 100%. But you see, Nana, there is a reason why we plan for tomorrow. And there's a reason why an organization like NADMO was formed. Because we know that natural disasters like these ones can happen that we don't have control over, but we can control what will happen when it happens. As we speak, I can bet my last penny that all the reserves, all the national district offices, that if things should come, they are the first point of call, have dried up. You can do your research from tomorrow. Every item in the NADMO head office have dried up because we are broke as a country. We spent every money for today, for tomorrow next. So now we are caught pants down. From now on till only God knows when. Anytime something disastrous will happen, as a country, we are naked.
Wow.
Look, I was expecting the president to lead the nation in times like this. Now look, when 9/11 happened, there was nothing like Republicans, there was nothing like Democrats. The president at the time rallied the nation around with one purpose of fighting the enemy. Today, our enemy is a natural disaster. When he flew as the president, I was expecting him that when he went, he will call up on corporate Ghana. That's look, finance minister, every corporate institution that will supply relief for these items, instead of VRA to give them tax relief.
Thank you very much. But currently, it's us. It's us. Whether the president was right or wrong, it's us. There must be a rallying point. There must be some accounts. There must be storage banks all over the nation. Every district should have a storage bank. If you have a little, say, 1 cup of Gary crowd, or is a broker crowd, they are called the Dokunu 2 crowd. Just, we have to flood them with food because I don't know how people survive. You go to sleep today, you wake up the next morning, and your house is underwater. Simple as that. Nothing has happened. You did nothing wrong. You just went to bed, woke up, probably went to work. By the time you came back, you can get home. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, Abu Muhammad Ismail. I'm calling from Japan.
Yes, closer to the situation. Let me hear you, my brother.
Yes. We sympathize with our brothers there. You see, we are not engineers. We don't have any engineering mentality. Mm-hmm. We just observe, just like you said, we were born around these areas. We those that don't have that engineering knowledge, we used to say, this place there, some years to come, something like this will happen. We are not engineers. We don't have any engineering mentality. We know about this. Any of those of us who go around that area, come to come and see the river. The river is bushy. The river is more than jungle. They are not cleaning the river. There are people who are supposed to. Why do you have town planning committee? If somebody go and build in the night, daybreak, pull it down. People go and sit off. You have to plan for the town. You are engineers. Nana, there are people who are supposed to be blamed. There are people who are supposed to be. If they say this happened in 1963, how many years now? It is true, it's a natural disaster, but our own carelessness, and we are still not accepting that we are failures. We are still not accepting. We want to give excuses if the dam is like that. We still don't accept. If we still don't accept that we are failures, we have to change everything and instill a better sense into the next generation. Galamsey is disturbing us. We are not able to solve it. This one has come. Accra will flood next time. The last time it is Kumasi that flooded. We are still not accepting. Okay, if you say we will not accept, let's keep waiting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, my brother. 0302216541. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Please, my name is Evelyn.
Evelyn?
Yes, I'm calling from Dome.
From?
Dome.
Dome, let me hear you.
Okay. So, I'm coming from Akusi.
Okay.
I'm coming from Akusi. Just under the Pond Dam, my village is from there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm coming from that next village. The problem we are facing now, I would say, is that using certificate documents fighting for position without experiences. So ever since I was coming from there to Accra, all the time when it comes to rainy season like this and they want to spray the water, they don't do it at once. They always do it more gradually. Mm-hmm. When they see the rising of the water, they start to do it gradually. But this one, they just got up. They realize that the water is ever over the gauge that they are supposed to spray at, and they release it just like that. It's the cost of it. Without experiences that people are using documents to fight for positions, it's costing us this one. That's the little thing I want to say.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. The People versus VRA. Doomed if you do and doomed if you don't. The engineers are saying that there's an, extraordinarily amount of water coming from all the tributaries joining into the Volta and heading towards the dam, and they need to spill. Hello, who's talking to me? Nana, let me hear you, my brother.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, I think certain things are very preventable. I don't even see as a natural disaster. I see it to be a man-made disaster. Because regardless of what is happening, we have been sympathizing with them. Somebody didn't do their job. The people, this is not the first time. Am I lying? This is not the first time it's happening, right?
No.
See, the people shouldn't be settling over there to begin with. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
We shouldn't settle there to begin with. So how come? It's just like on our street.
But now, because you're reasonable guys, so let me ask you. I mean, if there was like a donation bank or donation centers or Momo or something, I mean, would you send some 10 or 20 or 100 or give some T-shirt or something to help the cause?
Sure. It makes a lot of sense. But once we are doing that, I'm all for that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Once we are doing that, we are not sitting down for next year to come and have this conversation again. Do you understand? That is where I'm looking at, because this is not the first time it's happening. So what is the solution, Nara? What exactly is the solution? We can't always sit down and watch out for things to keep happening, and when there's a disaster, we will keep having the same conversations again. The politicians went there, same grammar. Presidents went on, okay, the campaign, grammar. Solutions, Nana. People should lose their jobs, so it's an issue. People are not losing their jobs. Who is supposed to make sure that people do not settle at where they are not supposed to settle? Who are those people? They are there. They take monthly salary. Yeah, we have town planning people. They are all there. Nana. So how? If real estate people own a land, we don't have the government to know how they say. And I say, meanwhile, we have town planning. So what are the laws? That assassinate you're all right. But you can't just go there. Whatever authority that is there has to come in, make sure that maybe they're giving permission for government schools, for some of these things, for hospitals, before you even sell the land. Make sure the place is even a good place for you to set some of these things. Basic common sense and wisdom.
You see, now, even though I agree with you, the reason why maybe on this occasion you can't talk about, Joe Bloggs who's built in the waterway is that, assuming all the regulations have been met, nobody was closer to the waterway, everything. It's a peculiar circumstance where, the water has moved to even people who are not close to the water. It's a mass argument, like going back to blame, he built in the waterway, he did this, doesn't hold, because this is like an extraordinarily amount of water where whether you're close to the waterway or not, you get affected. Okay, fine. Maybe the damage would have been not as severe, but still there would have been some damage. Still there would have been some damage. But I am still waiting for that call to say that, listen, something, let's put something together. I mean, churches and mosques, churches and mosques, all these big bishops and big pastors, they should lead the course. So yes, the state will be doing his bit, but we should also try and do our bit. Hello, and who's talking to me?
Good evening, Nana.
Yes, good evening.
This is Ford calling from Bato.
Let me hear you.
Yeah.
What's the situation?
First of all, I would like to ask you, do you have engineers in this country?
I'm sure.
Okay. Surely we have engineers. Then how come this spillage matters become something like, I don't know how to put it into a sentence for you to understand. Just because if we have the engineers, I know, or I definitely would have, if there must be a communication between VRA and then the other area that the water is coming from, that's Burkina Faso. They must do some arrangements and make some dams around. Especially my areas that I can't even go to my house because it flooded all over the house. And even coming to the main street in the Bato town. So if we should have engineers, then they should have made an arrangement and create a dams around so that they can divert the waters into it for the future sake or for the future use. But nothing like that's what happened. And they just allow the water to destroy our food crop, our animals, and everything are being destroyed around here.
You see, it's because, naturists say that every 100 years, every river has this, thing that it does where, it floods beyond reason. And this is one of such, that the amount of water coming, you can't dam it, divert it, or do anything. The best they can do now is to stop it and regulate the flow. I mean, there's this sheer amount of water. That's the problem.
Okay. Even if that should be the case, so can't we do any arrangement towards that?
Well, the arrangement towards that is what we are seeking. Could we have done anything quicker? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, my name is Claude.
Claude, let me hear you.
Yes. Nana, I think we need to understand that this is a force majeure. Mm-hmm. And, you can put in place all the mechanisms, but this is natural force that is sometimes difficult to contain. I think VRA has done very well. They have moderated the spill. If they should make a mistake and not spill, and this dam should break like what happened in Libya, what will happen to even those in Tema? So I think we should be measured in our criticisms of those engineers and those who are managing the situation. Like you said, we need to make contributions. When Haiti had, is it the tsunami? The international community came round, musicians came round, and gathered resources to help. There are people from that region who are elsewhere. They have associations. We have different religious groupings. This time we should rally around and send contributions to them instead of blaming government hasn't done that, president hasn't done this. It isn't everything that should be government. It is us. And the people even from that particular region should now start sending things and not waiting for presidential aspirants and things to send things to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too. I think we will challenge the MPs, the Volta Caucus MPs. And so now morally sharp. Now, take the lead, get some track and put some stuff on it, make some small publicity. We all do something about it. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Nana, how are you doing?
I'm very well.
Good, and thank you very much for putting up this topical issue. Yeah, over the years, we have neglected or we have overlooked what we are supposed to be doing for ourselves as a people. Okay, and from time to time, there is this excessive water that comes into the dam. Okay, that affects the people downstream. You understand? And what we do know is that sometimes when President Kwao was in power, downstream, sometimes there's so much deposit of silt, there's so much deposit of sand, the path of the river is so choked that President Kwao has to do these three removals or this stamping and all of that along the path of the river. Okay, so that when there is a spillage, it can flow straight, towards the sea around our down estuary area. And then you understand. So what the VRA and the NADMO and all the other agencies, the stakeholders are supposed to be doing is also to make sure that the water flows very easily downstream. Okay, because if you have blockades on its way, it will spill over. You understand? Then besides that, the VRA itself must liaise with the upper Volta area where the water comes up. So that as and when there is a major flood that is oncoming, we are able to regulate the spill so that we don't have this incident of each time water will overflow the banks and then will affect all other areas. You understand? So we, the people, should be proactive. We shouldn't be sitting down until there is a major disaster like this. Then we throw our hands in the air. You understand? So that's what has to happen.
Thank you very much. I got this one from Engineer Boache. It says, yes, at 6,000 cubic meters per second, 2 million liters will gush out of the lake in 1/3 of a second. Spilling commenced September 15. That's about a month and a day ago. So can you imagine how many seconds do you have in a month and a day? Multiply that by 2 million liters. That's how much water is coming. And it says 3% is right. The Akosombo Dam covers an area of 8,500 square kilometers. Lake Victoria, though, is much bigger. It covers an area of 68,000 square meters. So there I was wrong. The Lake Victoria is bigger than the Akosombo Dam. So I asked, could it have been mitigated? He says, I don't think so, Nana. So much water is coming from the Uti River that it couldn't have been stopped. It's a one-in-a-century event. Contrary to what people think, more water enters the lake from the Uti River than the Black, White, and Afram rivers all combined. That's a lot. Contrary to what people think, more water enters the lake from the Uti River than the Black, White, and the Afram rivers all contain. Just to give you an idea of the sheer volume of water that we are dealing with and what we could be done. Is this still, the question is this the best dough? So we are urging the media houses, we are urging the churches, the mosques, influential people in society to set up some food banks, some accounting, some clothing, so that we can send it to our brothers and sisters there to definitely help them. No more finger pointing. Let's reach out and help. Very, very sad. See Tihana playing B France. Abasi, we are coming to help the people who have been flooded. I mean, that would be very bad. Well, on the 15th of October, celebrating my 8th wedding anniversary. So I put on my status, breaking the 8. Hey, Yasemini. The amount of time I had to respond, say, would there be you, Pacho? I'm talking about my marriage matters. So I think now I have to say, broken the 8. I think that would be broken the 8. Happy anniversary to you or to us, I will. Those of you who saw my status and were all concerned breaking the 8, I think my worrisome. It's my anniversary. Condolences to my dear sister Amasewa Florence Opoku. Those of you who lived in Dansuma, the great B.A. Opoku. Mema, the great B. Opoku, passed 10th of October, just last 10th of October. And the 20th of October, they'll be observing the 1 week. All of us who went to Martin de Porres, St. Mary's, Legon. Let's join them at the Regimental Clubhouse in September, at the 20th of October. Regimental Clubhouse from 9 a.m. to 5 a.m. Amasewa. Oh. Boyfriend Ekojawi. And to you, Awo, for enduring the 8. Myself and Edumasa, my whole package. Ayiko, and for giving us a hinkai, Ayiko times 2. We have broken the 8, even before Baumia. You have done what Baumia is yet to do. Yeah, news bulletin is up next. Foster is here to give you the news bulletin. Kofi is lined up to come and give you some tunes. Stay tuned. Next Monday, we'll be back to do this all over again.